Alrighty, we are at the end of chapter 6, Smoke and Fire, and now we're going to create a final project for this chapter. So, as you can see, I already kind of have a few things laid out here, but I'm going to show you exactly what I did and how to get to it. We're going to set up some really cool lighting and a shader for our smoke. It's going to look awesome. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's get right into it. Go ahead and start by deleting everything in your scene. I love to start from scratch. Go ahead and add in a mesh torus, or any object you want. Now, the quickest way to get smoke on this is to go to Object, Quick Effects, Quick Smoke right here, and you literally click on that, and if you go back to frame 1, you press play, we already have a smoke simulation, and we're done. Kidding, we're not done just yet. We got to add a few more things, and we have to bake this out at a super high resolution. So, now that we know we have our domain and everything else set up, I'm going to go ahead and click on our domain, which is this box here. And just a friendly reminder, this small cube in the bottom left, that is our resolution. We're going to want to bump that up a lot more. Now, it will take a while to bake, but I promise you the results are well worth it. If we head over to our physics tab on the right, make sure everything is set up correctly, we're eventually going to raise this resolution. Before we do that, I want to go over the bake one more time. I'm thinking we bake out to frame 150 for this, so it doesn't take too long and I can get through this tutorial for you guys quickly. I'm going to go ahead and make sure my folder is selected. You guys can choose any folder you want, or you can make your own custom folder. Once that's all done, change replay to all. And now we are ready to bake. So just a quick refresher. To bake, simply click on Bake All, and this is going to go ahead and bake through the entire animation for you, all the way to frame 150. Now if we play this back, you'll see that everything is working properly. Now, this is just our solid view, so you're really not going to see a lot of detail here. In fact, you can see these jagged lines. That's because this box is so big, right? Our particle size is huge. I'm going to go ahead and click on Free All, and we're going to rebake this at a much higher value. I'm going to go ahead and double check all of our settings here. Vorticity, we're going to leave that alone. Buoyancy and heat, we're going to leave that alone as well, but you guys can experiment with those. For resolution divisions, I think I'm going to go with 200 on this one, and we're going to see how that looks. And if we need to, we can rebake it later. I'm going to go ahead and click on Bake All. And as you can see at the bottom, we have that 0%. That's going to rush through each frame. It's going to take a look at our torus, how the smoke's going to come out of that torus, and how it's going to hit the domain as well. So we're going to go ahead and let that do its thing, and we'll come right back. Alrighty, so the bake was taking quite some time, so we're going to go ahead and pause it here, and I'm going to show you our results. Wow. Look at this. This looks incredible. Now, this is in solid view right here, so it's kind of like a silhouette version of our actual smoke. But if we take a look in rendered view, you can kind of see that our smoke looks pretty realistic. I'm going to go ahead and hide this torus now because we don't really need that anymore. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some lighting to our scene. Now, there's a lot of interesting ways that we can light this scene. We could add a HDRI if we wanted to, but I usually like to keep the world pitch black and just add area lights. So I'm going to go ahead and add a regular area light in here. I'm going to move it off to the side here, and I'm just simply going to rotate it on our y-axis like so. And as you can see, we already start to have some cool lighting. I'm going to scale this up a bunch, and I'm also going to set our value to maybe 1,000 or so. Now, we're going to go ahead and do whatever we want from this point, but as you can see from this angle, the smoke already looks really awesome. And if we want to, we can decrease the size, so we can sort of get this interesting outline shape around our smoke. Now, there's a couple of things to consider when we talk about our actual smoke. And the actual shader for the smoke is built into Blender for us, and that's part of our smoke domain. So if we click on our domain and we go over here, you'll notice that under the volume properties within our material tab, we have a lot of different things we can change. Probably the most important factor is the density. Now, of course, there is the color as well, which will change the color of the smoke. I'll just go ahead and change it to a light blue so we can really see this, and I'll zoom in. Now, the actual density is going to be exactly what you think it is. Similar to fog, we can adjust the density of our smoke. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 1. It was originally at 5, and now the smoke is much lighter. If we want it to be very dense, we can set it to a value of 30, and that's really dense, like almost too dense. Let's try a value of 20 and see what we have there. Not terrible. I think I'll go somewhere in between, maybe 15. Now you can still sort of see through our smoke, and you can still tell that it's smoke, but if you don't want this type of effect, you can turn this back to a value of 10 or so. That looks a little bit better. Now we can still see through the smoke, but it's not so transparent that it looks too fuzzy. And seriously, guys, play with this value because it's going to give you a completely different result depending on what you do. Now, another thing to consider is this is really going to slow down your viewport. As you can see right now, this looks really cool, and we didn't bake it all the way through, but if we go ahead and look at this from underneath, you can see where the smoke cloud started, where the torus was formed, and this looks really awesome. There's so many things we can do now. I think what I'll do is I'll go back to solid view, I'll make sure I give this a quick save, and I think I'm going to add a camera to my scene. Now that I have a camera in my scene, I'm going to go ahead and reset all the values to 0, like I always do, and then I'm going to go ahead and rotate this up on the x-axis, and I'm going to go ahead and also rotate it off to the left as well. So I'm going to go ahead and R, Z, Control, and if I hold Control, you'll see that now we're pointing the correct direction. I'll go ahead and snap into the camera, I'll move it to where I want it, and then I'll move it along my x-axis until we're kind of zoomed out here. And now we're in a good spot to kind of capture this almost clown-looking thing of smoke. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. This looks really cool. I think I want a close-up shot, so I'm going to move this off to the corner. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a lot here. And I want to kind of capture this corner right here. Let's see what this looks like. Now another thing you can do is you can turn on denoising for the viewport, and it'll give you a little bit of a better view. It'll render a lot quicker. This looks so awesome though. I love the way this turned out. And the best part is, if I want to quickly change the color, I can easily do so. If I want some sort of pink cloud, I can easily do that. And that's pretty much it. And if we want to, from this point, we can render this out. We can also make our world color darker, so we have a little bit more of a contrast against our smoke. And as you can see, that's going to make our shadows much harsher. So it's totally up to you guys how you want to set your camera shot up. I thought that looked pretty cool. If we wanted to, we could even go below and kind of get this angle if we wanted to. Really totally up to you guys. Remember, there's going to be different settings that you can enable for your smoke, and there's going to be different properties that you can mess with within your shader. For example, from this angle, you can clearly see a little bit more definition of smoke. So maybe if you wanted to, you could switch your camera angle up as well. But when you go to render this out, this is going to look very realistic because of how high the resolution actually is. So have fun with this one, guys. You can create any object that you want to for your final project. Just make sure it is emitting smoke upwards, downwards, sideways. You can add a force field if you want to. Have fun with it. Don't forget to mess around with the shader, which is in the materials tab down here. Change the color, change the density. Have fun with it, guys. This is a really fun thing to do. It is time intensive on your computer, and it's very intensive on rendering, but I promise you it's well worth it when it's all said and done, because you can get some incredible results like you see right here. Have fun, take a screen recording, and I'll see you in the next chapter. In the next lesson, we'll explore particle systems, where we will create stunning particle effects for your scenes. We'll see you there.